Welcome back to the Fantasy Hockey Podcast. It is the weekend. Yep. I gotta come up with a new intro after I say welcome back to the Fantasy Hockey Podcast, because I feel like the whole "hey, this is what it is" getting a little old. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no suggestions.
I think I gotta get a little more creative here. The people are getting probably sick of that.
If we have anybody new, I'm Brandon and he's Gamby. If you're ever wondering, who's who.
Hello. Oh, I should probably do that, huh? Because I mean, people do that all the time. People, if you don't know who we are, there you go. I'm actually wearing a Gamby shirt today. Brandon, way back in the day, at our first job together, you got me a Gamby shirt. I don't know how I can get it to be on camera. Let's see, I have to back up. Oh, there we go. It's a little deer on a shirt. He got it for me. It's a very, very nice gift. Gift of his. So, anyways, weekend preview. That means we do 10 takes. So let's jump into the first of the 10 takes. I'm going to start off a little light and good-hearted here. Hank is skating again.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone thought that he might end up retiring. Not the case. Nope. Well, I mean, he might still retire.
Not the case.
He has to be cleared.
But yeah. He hasn't said one way or another yet, but at least the opportunity is there for him if he wants it.
Yes. And doctors need to clear him, which, given the surgery and what was wrong, it seems hard that they're going to clear him. But, I mean, at the same time, who knows? You never know. He looked good in skating. So I'm happy for him. It's awesome to see that he is skating again. So that was it. That's my first take. Makes me happy. Warms my heart.
Yeah, let's go over to the dark side now.
Okay, cool. Of
Claude
course.
Julien was fired.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Montreal started off really hot and then slowed right down. Apparently, Bergevin said, I don't know if this is a direct quote or not, but the hearings is that he basically said he saw flashes of the Montreal losing streaks that were going on last season prior to the bubble time, and just wants to get away from that, I guess, obviously. Dominique Ducharme, I think it's Ducharme, is the interim coach now, at least till the end of the season. Although I feel like every other time we've seen an interim coach, they wind up being the coach at the end of the season. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's for sure. I mean, I hope he goes to the Rangers. Not really. I thought at this point, I think I'd take anyone over David Quinn.
Yeah, well, Hines.
No, okay, I won't take anyone. Never mind. I take that back. Do not give me Hines. I will take David Quinn. I'm happy just how we are. So for a lot of so this is the next one actually, kind of interesting. So the Senators have been playing a little bit better, and one of the players leading that resurgence is Drake Batherson. So is Drake Batherson back? Is he relevant again? I feel like this is all a trap. We're all gonna pick him up.
I think it is a trap. I mean, his ice time has been going up, which is nice, but he's not playing on a great line. And I don't know. I'm afraid of him this time around. I would like him to be playing with Brady, I think, is the main thing.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, it feels like a trap still. I mean, I'm excited about it, but I'm not picking him up.
He's playing with Stützle. I give him that, but
he is. But still.
But
I think that makes me higher on Stützle than it does on Batherson.
Yeah,
Strangely.
I need his ice time to be more consistently high before I get high on him again. The last time I was up on him, I mean, he shoots and he hits. That's always nice. But it was when he was getting good ice time. He was getting 17-plus minutes a game. And now we've seen him get somewhere between 12 and 16. And I mean, you don't know what you're going to get day to day. So it's hard to call him an ad long term.
Yeah.
So we're seeing two sides of Markstrom. Not with Markstrom, of Rick, with Markstrom being out, that is. Really staunch defensively against the Leafs, just giving him fits, and then just gets shelled into oblivion by the Senators, as everybody would expect. I don't really know what to make of that. They just put Markstrom on IR. Doesn't really mean a lot because he's already missed a couple of games, so I don't know if we can really read into that too much from like a timeline perspective, but I don't think that Riddick is going to be the guy you're going to want to dress constantly. He played 3 games in 4 days, essentially. That's a lot of games. So I don't I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his backup, who got in for a goal against again, actually, in this game after they pulled Riddick. Actually, maybe I will attempt it. It's, oh no. Actually, 2 goals against, by the way. Zagidulin? That's pretty close. Zagidulin. I don't know. A pretty mediocre AHL goalie, so I'm sure that's going to go well. Although, I mean, we've seen that before, right? Bennington was a pretty mediocre AHL goalie, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, a lot of players. I think very few players follow the trajectory of Jake Allen.
Yeah.
Zagidulin. I don't know. That's a hard one. That's one of the hard. That's grammar school. I don't know. I don't even know how to begin to pronounce that. Zagidulin.
Hopefully, it won't be relevant enough for us to have to worry about it for very long.
I hope not. So my next few kind of points here are about teams. And so my first one here, my fifth take, but my first kind of team discussion, Florida. Are they a sleeper? They look incredible and seem to have all the pieces in place. I feel like Florida's that team that right now has everything. The only question mark is the goaltending. But I feel like they're a team that if they had their goaltending properly shored up, they could make a deep run, I think, this year.
I don't know about their defense either. I mean, they have some good pieces and they have some pretty weak pieces.
Sure. But so far, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, sure. I just think they might get eaten up in a best of 7 against a good team, but we'll see. I also I don't know anybody on their bottom line. Ryan Lomberg, Johu Lamico, and Mason Marchment.
I know Lamico, or however you pronounce it. I know him. I don't know.
I feel like I've seen those. I know Lomberg is people have talked about him to an extent, but I don't really, or at least maybe they've just reacted to him playing pretty well, but I don't know.
By the way, Carey Price putting up a sweet 8-4-2 tonight. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
If you watched, Unsustainable. Anyways. Okay, what's your next take?
Artemi Panarin took a leave of absence. I don't even know where how to even it's almost unaddressable how to deal with what the allegations are, because they're Russian allegations from a state that tends to go after its detractors, and Panarin is pretty anti-Putin, so usually doesn't end well for Russian nationals that are that way. So I don't know. I mean, obviously he's not gonna get what's the word I'm looking for? Extradited or whatever?
Yeah, extradited.
Yeah. But essentially the allegation is that he abused a woman in a bar in Latvia in 2011 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then they've now confirmed, Latvian officials have confirmed there's been no charges filed. I think 3 of his teammates have confirmed they have no knowledge of it.
It was a coach that
there's a lot of things,
right? I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing is weird.
It's weird.
It just all smells.
So the coach, according to Slava, a big writer, I don't know if I forget if that's exactly his name, but there's a beat writer essentially in Russia that's pretty well known, and he apparently said that the coach is just deranged. It's wild. I don't know. It really does seem like a smear piece, and I do hope his family gets out safe if this is kind of a smear campaign, and potentially even more. I gotta say, on this note, I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough that how big of a Putin supporter Ovechkin is. Somehow he just gets off scot-free for that. And I think it's a little insane that we don't hold him more accountable for that. It's the only dark mark on his career. And quite frankly, it's one that no one really brings up. And if you look at anywhere else in the universe, essentially, when you're a Putin supporter, you're viewed in negative light. And yet there's Ovechkin, who we seem to not care that he created some Team Putin thing, or was part of a Team Putin thing a few years ago. I think it's tough to have the conversation about Artemi Panarin in the NHL getting, attacked essentially by Putin's team in this way, and then not turn around. Like, we can't lambast Russia for what they're doing and lambast Putin, right, and defend Panarin, and then turn around and say, oh, but you know what? We don't care that this other player supports him. So I feel like it's only right to bring up this point of, look, there are a lot of Putin supporters in the NHL, and we don't look at them enough, because I think that's the only fair thing to do for Panarin here. If you really support Panarin, point the fingers at the people that support the people doing this to Panarin. I think that's only fair.
Yeah. I mean, not to defend Ovi here, but I do think it's a dangerous game to be anti-Putin when you have family in Russia. But I don't think that's what Ovi's doing. I don't think this is like some sort of like mask he's putting on. But
no, I agree.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. We have plenty of things wrong with this country, but it really makes you reflect a little bit, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, we see, it was just weird. I felt like bringing it up because you see all the NHL and all the teams come out in support of Panarin, and yet, like, where's been the conversation in the past years about all these players that support Putin? Like, those are the people enabling Putin to do the things that he's doing now to a player that now everyone's supporting. It's just weird, and I think it's proper to bring up that counter point of, hey, how about the people that support him? So there you go. Anyways, moving on from that. So the next person here, or the team, is Minnesota. Talk about a sleeper. Second in that division in points percentage. They're killing it. They actually look really good. Their defense is good. Their goaltenders are good. I think their offense is the only thing to be left desired. But the thing is, they're actually in a division where that might benefit them for once. The fact that their offense isn't incredibly stellar. I think they can get away with it in this division this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I still find them very hard to figure out in general. And that whole division, really. I mean,
yeah.
With the exception of the Sharks, it feels like all the teams have been a little bit unexpected. Well, and the teams that are good, who are just being good, which I guess is not too surprising. But I mean, I'm more pointing at teams like LA, who have recently been pretty good, and Arizona. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what Minnesota can pull off. They are coming off a 4-game winning streak, so wow. LA's on a 6-game winning streak. That's crazy. This is insane.
Yeah, that whole division is just madness right now. It's kind of fun, honestly.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Very interesting.
Yeah, very weird.
The Honda West division. Yeah, right.
The Honda West. We've got to remember to include those
West.
sponsor names.
All right. Next take is, even though the ice was bad, the Tahoe games were a blast. It would have been great if we could have watched them during the day with some cloud cover so that the ice didn't have such a didn't take it so strongly. But I really hope that this isn't just like a COVID thing, and we get to have more of these like outdoor, not a classic style games going forward. They're always such a big dramatic event, which I guess, of course that's understandable with how much goes into making a rink and all that, but they don't have to be in a stadium, like it would be nice to see some other venues.
Yeah.
Especially considering I didn't look at any of the metrics on this, but that had to have drawn more eyeballs to hockey than we usually watch.
Oh yeah.
Watching with a gorgeous backdrop in an outdoor game, even though the first one got totally delayed, but whatever. I hope they do more of it. This is the short thing, and that it doesn't have to be a grand event in a stadium.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. I mean, of course, one thing that's going to be difficult about this is you've got to convince owners to pass up revenues, right? Because you don't get all the gate revenue from the big stadiums, which is one of the big reasons that they like to do it. But aside from that, I mean, that was one of the most beautiful hockey games I've ever watched on TV. That was an unbelievable scene. I mean, their CGI, like weird CGI things over the lake was terrible, but everything else was great. I loved the boats in the water. I thought that was a cool little touch, even though they weren't CGI. Those were real people. Although not confirmed they were real people. I will put that tinfoil hat on.
CGI
They
boats.
did not. I don't think those people or the boats were real. I think they were, they could have been as fake as Sims people. Just, something I thought about when I was looking at them. The thing saying like "thank you fans" wasn't real. So I don't know. I don't know if the other things were real. By the way, if you thought that Nashville had any hope of redemption, we're recording this. What is this, Thursday night? And they just let a hat trick happen against them by Sam Gagner.
Yep. Sure did.
Sam Gagner has a hat trick against the Nashville Predators. So if you ever needed confirmation that the Predators are toast...
He plays for Detroit, by the way. I have a feeling some people... I don't know if I would have known that offhand.
I wouldn't know that. I didn't even know Sam Gagner was still in the league, honestly. I had no clue.
He's wearing his
Oilers
uniform in his shot on NHL. So
he is. Okay, so my last bit here is about the Calgary Flames and how bad they are, which you already touched on a little bit, but I wanted to touch on a different aspect of the Calgary Flames. And that specifically is about how they're probably going to blow up this team. There's a very good chance that this team gets blown up and they trade Monahan. Tkachuk might not even be off the table, apparently. Tkachuk seems a little unsettled. It seems like the team is just not getting along. And so what do you do? What's going to happen?
You traded to Ottawa for a premium.
Oh, gosh, that'd be amazing.
That's what you do.
That'd be unreal. I mean, or trade him to... You got to at least trade him in the Canadian division. We've got to watch them fight more, please. Come on. You can't have them play only once a year. That'd be brutal. The fans don't want that. Maybe they could fight while both being on Ottawa. Could that happen?
They'll never fight.
I think that could happen.
They already said their mom won't let them.
Yeah. Although they should one day. Yeah, I mean, Gaudreau might be traded. Monahan seems likely to be traded. I'm so curious to see where they go. It's going to be very interesting. Although, honestly, with all the COVID stuff and the way the trades happen now...
Yeah, I do wonder what trading's going to look like. The trade deadline's going to look like.
I have a feeling that they're going to wait until the offseason to do anything. It's going to be much easier to trade in the offseason. I think anybody right now with big pieces to trade, even the Buffalo Sabres with Eichel, it makes more sense to wait until the offseason. I mean, if you're trading with the Rangers, that's different because the quarantine situation doesn't work the same. But it's much more difficult to trade, say, a Canadian player to an American team because then that American team going into Canada has much stricter restrictions as well. So it's just not super ideal unless you're doing it as a rental, I guess, for the playoffs. But I think the trades will be kind of held off. But, I mean, if you're Calgary, it feels like they're waving the white flag at this point. I mean, with everything that came out in the news, it just seems as if Calgary is just waving the white flag and saying, you know what, we give up. Can we be worse than Ottawa somehow? They're trying. They're trying real hard. So is Vancouver. Vancouver and Calgary are really trying to be worse than Ottawa. They're getting close. They're getting very, very close.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they move Tkachuk since he's still an RFA, but
yeah,
who knows? I mean, so is Line A, and Tkachuk is an RFA with $7 million cap hit, so his next contract's going to be big no matter what.
Yeah, I think the big question Calgary's going to have to ask themselves.
Arb rights, so
yeah, the biggest question is: can you build a team around Matthew Tkachuk? I know he's good. I know he's incredible. But can you build a team around Matthew Tkachuk? He is a really new type of player to me. I mean, he reminds me of, Corey Perry, obviously. It's his idol.
Why wouldn't
but you look back at Corey Perry and you think the same thing. Like, can you build a team around Corey Perry as your kind of main piece? I don't know if you can. So I think they're in a really tough spot right now because they have three great pieces. Which one do you keep? Do you keep any of them?
That's the strategy that Ottawa's taking, right? They're building around Brady.
Yeah. But Brady's, I suppose that's true. Not going so great for them so far. But and even then, I do have questions though. They haven't really started. I mean, I do kind of question though. Even with Brady, I do question: can you build a team around? And maybe this is a hot take, but I do have genuine questions in the new NHL. Can you build a team around guys like? Especially Brady. Matthews, I think, a much more offensive player than Brady is. Yeah. But can you actually build a team around a guy like Brady?
Less grindy.
Less
pure
grinding. Yeah.
points. I mean, I'm
Yes.
saying more pure points, but obviously that is just relative between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna, I would rather build around Matthew than Brady, I think. But just I think that's just something I've thought about ever since he was drafted. It's just like this idea of, can you actually, in today's NHL, build around a guy that is more grindy? I don't know if the answer is yes. I can't wait to find out though.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to find out pretty soon, at least in the next few
We
years,
are.
what happens in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Okay. My last one here is Jeff Skinner was healthy scratched 3 times in a row, including in the game where Eichel was already going to be out. He is on a $9 million contract for like 6 more years. Boy. I mean, we knew that contract was bad for a while now. I think a lot of people knew that it was bad coming into, it's 7 more years. I'm sorry. Coming into,
Oops.
or rather, I think he becomes a UFA in 7 more years. Yeah. So forever. This is a contract that's almost certainly going to get bought out. There's just no way it doesn't get bought out. The interesting thing about his contract is he's got signing bonuses coming up, including in this year. And basically that will make his salary count against our cap hit the next time he gets a signing bonus, which is in 2022 to 23, more than it normally would. So a buyout is going to be very good for the Sabres for pretty much every year except for 2022 to 23. That year, they're going to have to figure something out. But I mean, that buyout has to be coming. I don't see how it's not coming.
I'm kind of wondering if there's a trade on the table.
Who would trade
how much
for
do you
that
give
contract?
up?
You'd have to.
Well, how much do you give up?
It's immovable, in my opinion. I don't see who could take on that cap hit for that long.
Detroit.
It would be a team that would have to buy him out. Like Detroit. It's just, even Detroit. Like I don't think they're willing to even pay the money. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's $9
mean, it depends
million for until 2026.
It
or until
really depends on what you
actually.
get back.
What's that?
It really depends on what you get back. I mean, what's the? I wonder.
Whoever does it will
do
buy him out. I can almost guarantee that they'll acquire him to buy him out.
Here's a kind of crazy thought, right? What if Buffalo has screwed themselves so hard with this contract that when they trade Eichel, they're going to include Skinner in the trade, and thus get like nothing in return. Like, say you trade to the Rangers, right? You include Skinner. The Rangers are obviously going to buy out Skinner. And then after that...
Nah, they're just going to buy him out.
You get nothing back.
I don't think they're going to trade him.
Right, but like...
buy him out. We might take.
I don't know. We'll see. It's that's an interesting theory. I mean, there's no reason for him to be scratched. He hasn't been that bad. I do feel like there might be something on the table.
$9 million scratch. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think there could be something there.
Oh, nah, I don't think they're scratching him because they're going to trade him. I'd be surprised.
I think there might be something there.
I don't see who.
Here's the interesting thing that I'm thinking about, right? Just to think about. If there is a team in the league that would not mind paying the buyout of Jeff Skinner, it would be MSG Group. That's all I'm saying. If there is a team out there that would rather have a star and have to pay someone's contract of a buyout, if there's a team that would be willing to do that, it would be the New York Rangers.
I don't think it's worth moving Eichel just to get Skinner off your books. Just buy him out.
Well, no, but what if you have to move Eichel anyways?
Still, you think you can get more return than that. I don't think you'd sacrifice
I agree.
for Eichel for Skinner.
I don't know.
It's too awkward of a fit. Like you'd have to be taking on a lot with those two.
You would. I mean, but I think that maybe if you are the Sabres, you think, okay, well, I'm getting that contract off of my books. I'm probably still getting something for Eichel. It's a net win for me at the end of the day. Because say you get rid of Eichel and you get all those pieces, you're still stuck with this anchor behind you of Jeff Skinner to rebuild.
$19 million in cap for that trade as well, which is
insane. Insane.
That's a lot of cap.
Anyways,
like I don't think Detroit could even acquire it without sending people back, which makes the thing even more complicated. Larkin would have to go the other way.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing's crazy.
I don't know.
I think
it's all
the most likely scenario to me is it's a buyout, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's also probably a possibility of a buyout. There's probably a chance that there's some sort of a kind of compliance buyout for everything that's gone on.
He has a full move,
read.
right? He can't be taken to the expansion.
Jesus,
Although, honestly, even if he could be taken to the expansion, I don't think Seattle takes him. Who takes that cap?
No one wants him. No one wants that cap.
Nobody
wants that cap.
Even as an expansion team, you don't want that on your books for the next millennia.
Maybe he's going to get magically injured. Go on long-term injured reserve.
Oh,
get his $9 million a year. Never.
Somebody's going to chop one of his legs off.
Chop one of his legs off. Get $9 million a year. Yep. There you go. Okay, so let's move into the weekend pickup suggestions now that we've given you our tinfoil hat theories on Jeff Skinner and Jack Eichel. My first one is going to be Pavel Buchnevich from the Rangers. Did not plan this. It just happened. 2 off nights. It's a really easy pick there.
Yeah, he feels like the Backlund of old years where
yes, exactly.
Anytime, because it seems like the Rangers, I think they actually did have at least one of the most off nights in general for teams. It seems like they've been coming up quite a bit lately. So you hear Booch mentioned a lot. I'll tack onto that also Chris Kreider, who's dipped down to 53%. Still kind of above the threshold of who I'd recommend, but I think that he's been dropped in like a lot of fairly shallow leagues because he wasn't playing very well for a period of time there. So he's a decent grab as well that could turn into a longer term hold.
Yeah, agreed. And then my next one here from the Boston Bruins, Nick Richie. We've talked about him a lot. I think he's a long-term hold as well, but just a fantastic grab for this weekend if you're in a shallower league. They play. He's good in both cats and points, honestly, and he plays both Friday and Sunday.
Yep. I got a player that plays Saturday and Sunday, but still could turn into something potentially, and that's actually. Both these players are somebody that you might just want to grab on Sunday and see what happens because their situations change. And that's Jack Roslovic, center right wing, 33%, and Nick Foligno, left wing, right wing, but playing center, 34%. They both moved around a little bit. I mean, Columbus just got shut out, so who knows what's going to happen. But they could be somebody that you take a look at coming into the weekend. There's not a whole lot of great options outside of the Rangers and Nick Richie because nobody else plays Friday and Sunday.
Yep. So, those are the two best, and it's like the
only ones. The only two that play Friday and Sunday. So and Saturday is like every other team in the league, I think.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Actually, it literally is every other team in the league except for also Vancouver since there's 31 teams.
Jesus. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah. I've also got a couple of goalies.
Okay. Go ahead. I have no more pickup
These are my last two.
Do yours.
I think one option is Ilya Sorokin. We'll be playing a sludge match, most likely, against Pittsburgh on Sunday. He might play Saturday, but I imagine they'll play him on Sunday because, it's not like they're playing a back-to-back before that or anything. And then lastly here is Brian Elliott playing against playing against Buffalo, who may not have Eichel, also likely in a sludge match on Sunday. I mean, everybody's going to be a sludge match. There's going to be a bunch of back-to-backs. There's going to be a bunch of opportunities to play backup goalies. Those are the two I think I like the most.
Yep.
De Smith is also an option, I guess.
Yeah. Linus Ullmark just got injured too, but Buffalo sucks, so.
Yeah, but I mean, they're also playing a back-to-back, so you're going to wind up with against Philly, which is actually okay.
It's decent.
I still think something needs to change in Philly, but they keep winning, so maybe not. So without Ullmark, there's going to be Hutton and who else? I don't even know who would be playing on Sunday.
I don't know. Whoever their third string is.
Let's take a quick look.
If Ullmark ends up being out, which we're not sure about yet.
Right.
He could very well not be out. For long term, at least.
I can't put my finger on who that player is. I feel like it's a name we've heard before. It's not like somebody like out of the blue who would be their third stringer, but let me take a quick cap-friendly look to Buffalo and see if there's an answer here. Nothing obvious, actually. At least nothing I'm seeing quickly. Who's on their taxi squad? Dustin Tokarski. That's who it's going to be.
Oh my gosh. I've heard that name. I have heard that name.
It's either going to be him or it's going to be Jonas Johansson, I guess, who has played for them before. Maybe it'd be him. I don't know. They have 2 goalies on their taxi squad. One of those 2. I don't know that I like either one of them against Philly, so try to avoid that. Or any team, for that matter.
Well, anyways, there you go. It is a crazy weekend. Hope you have a good one. Brandon will actually be solo for the week preview, so keep an eye out for that. I will be out of the state. I'll be in Vermont. I'm driving. Not flying. Not getting COVID. Thank you. And otherwise, thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Yep. Thanks for listening.